All right, so you've been thinking about tech sales, the big checks, the remote work, the freedom that it comes with. But let me keep it real with you guys in this video. Tech sales might not be what you think it is. And in fact, it might not be the move for you at all. Now, I'm not saying that it is all bad, but before you jump in, let's break down the truth. And guys, welcome back to the channel where we're all about leveling up and climbing the ladder and getting to the next step in your career as well as in your life. Today, we're going to be diving into why tech sales may not be the best bet and what you need to really consider. And if you're here for that real talk, go ahead and hit that like button and that subscribe button if you are new to our channel. Make sure you hit the notification bell as well. Now, guys, let's talk about what everyone is after in tech sales, and that is the money. We've all heard the stories about people pulling in six-figure paychecks with those commission checks, but I will be very clear to you guys. If you're not performing, those commissions can look like pennies, and people rarely talk about the months when you don't close a deal. I want you guys to think of it like this, like you are fishing. Sometimes you reel in a big catch and other days you go home with nothing in your net. And if your base salary doesn't cover your bills while you are out there learning how to fish and learning how to improve, AKA being in sales, it's going to get very uncomfortable, and it's going to get uncomfortable quick. I've even seen folks in tech sales thinking that it is easy money, and within 6 months to a year, they're scrambling because they didn't close enough deals to cover their basic living expenses. And if you are not ready for that kind of uncertainty, then you really need to think twice about tech sales. And look, if you are going to jump into tech sales, make sure that your base salary is enough to keep you stable while you are sharpening your skills. The money is there, but it's not going to flow like a waterfall from the first day that you enter. And now, guys, I am not going to sugarcoat this piece of it. The pressure of tech sales is real. I'm going to say it again. The pressure is real. And in tech sales, you are going to live or die by your quotas. Every single month, there is going to be a target that you need to hit. And if you don't hit it, not only does your paycheck suffer, your reputation could take a hit as well. And I want you all to think of it like sports. Imagine being a quarterback and missing a game-winning pass. You are judged on your performance each game, not just once. And in tech sales, it is the exact same way. One bad month doesn't mean that you are out of it, but if you're stacking and stacking and stacking multiple bad months, well, you're going to feel the pressure from your management team and your sales leaders. And trust me, not everyone can handle it. I'll put it like this. I've known people who thrive in tech sales because they love the pressure. Former athletes, competitive types, right? And if you got that competitive streak in you, then great. If you're someone who doesn't like feeling that constant heat, then this industry might chew you up and spit you out real quick. I mean, tech sales, it is high risk and high reward. That's the type of environment it is. You've got to ask yourself if you're ready to run on that treadmill every single day. And you have to do it every single day, because if you start to slack, just like you will get winded when you get back on that treadmill, well, in sales, if you start to slack, it's going to be very easy for you to fall off. Now, here's something that most people often overlook in tech sales: the constant evolution of technology. And what you're selling today may not even exist in the company in 6 months. And that means that you need to stay on top of your game, constantly learning new products, mastering new features, and adapting to the changes faster than your competitors are. When I think about tech sales, I think of it like trying to surf in a storm. You can catch one wave, and just when you think that you've got it all figured out, another one comes rolling in. And if you don't know how to ride that next wave, you are going under, crash out. So keeping up with changes can be exhausting in tech sales. And I'll give you guys a personal story. I remember a time when I had just mastered a product, feeling all good about it, thinking I could get on any call and pitch it to any customer. And boom, they released an update that completely changed how we position it to client. And man, I had to scramble and relearn everything and basically start fresh with new building blocks. And if that kind of constant shift isn't something that you can handle, then you are in for a rough ride. Now, if you love learning and adapting, then that is absolutely fantastic. But you must be honest with yourself. If you are someone who prefers stability and predictability, then tech sales will test your limits. Now, here's where things get interesting. Tech sales does offer you something that a lot of people don't get, but they do crave, and that is freedom. You get to manage your own schedule. You get to handle your own clients. And in many cases, you can work from anywhere. I'm talking about anywhere, from the vineyard, from the boat, in your car, from Alaska, wherever you want to be, you can work just about from anywhere. I know it sounds perfect, right? But here's the reality. Freedom only works if you are disciplined. I've seen folks with all the freedom in the world, but they didn't have the self-discipline to manage their time. They let things slip. They missed deadlines. And guess what? They missed out on deals as well. And being your own boss sounds great until you realize that there is nobody to keep you accountable but yourself. It's kind of like being handed the keys to a brand new car. You've got to know how to drive it, or you're going to crash it into the guardrails. Now, this one is big. If you don't like to talk to people, then tech sales is probably the last place that you want to be. Every day you are building relationships, talking to clients, following up, and closing deals. And look, not everyone likes that. It is essential though. And I'll tell you like this, I've seen people jump into tech sales thinking that they can get away with just sending emails and handing things behind the scenes, but nah, that's not how it works. The best deals come from you building relationships with people over time. And I've worked with clients who stuck with me for years because we built trust together. And if you are not willing to invest in those relationships, you won't see the big wins. And it's kind of like, planting seeds. You got to nurture those relationships or you are not going to see the fruits. And here's another real piece of it. You are going to hear no a lot in the tech sales space. I mean, a lot. Clients will ghost you, deals will fall through, and rejection is just part of the territory. And if you can't handle rejection, this isn't the place for you. And here's the thing. Every no is just one step closer to a yes. I mean, you've got to have the mental toughness to push through whenever you get a no, because once you start racking up those wins, it's all going to be worth it. I'm telling you, with big paychecks. But can you handle the lows to get to the highs? Now let's talk about burnout in tech sales. It's real. There is such thing as burnout in tech sales because you are constantly hustling. You're constantly learning new products and you're constantly juggling clients, and that can take a toll on your mental health. And if you don't pace yourself, you'll burn out before you can even start to see the real success that you will have if you can stick with it. I've seen it happen time and time again. People hit the ground running, and within a year, they are completely burnt out. I've experienced it myself to the point where I stopped working out because I was constantly chasing the number, the money, the big checks were coming in. And I said, I didn't need to do any of that sort of stuff. And well, you know what? Your mental health suffers, your physique suffers. The key to making it a long career is knowing how to manage your time, take breaks, and to recharge. Those are very important. You have to play the long game. So is tech sales for you? Maybe not, but don't jump into it just because you've heard about the money or the freedom. Really weigh the pros and cons and reflect on your strengths and make sure that this is something that you can thrive in from a career perspective. If this video gave you some clarity, make sure that you hit the like button and let me know in the comments what's holding you back from tech sales. Let's talk about it in the comment section of this video. Check out my other videos on tech careers, remote jobs, and more.